What's up, team? Michael here, and I'm so sorry I have not posted a new video in like a month and a half, and even then my last video was a YouTube Shorts video, so you can't really count it as a video. But I've just been busy with a lot of business stuff, starting a new podcast for my business, which is actually the Business Pump Podcast. If you want to check it out, I interview people who turn their passion for fitness into a successful business. I don't really post that on my personal channel just because it has to do with business, and a lot of you that might be boring. But when I was editing this week's new episode on the show, I came across a clip that I think you guys will really enjoy. It fits really well with what I talk about here on my channel about CrossFit and everything. And so I interviewed a guy. His name is Brigham Nielsen. He is the director of the Iron Games. If you do not know what the Iron Games is, it's basically a CrossFit style competition in Utah that resembles CrossFit regionals or sanctional events. So it's very electric. It's very large. I volunteered at the competition in 2020, and I'm actually planning on competing at it in 2021. You can also check it out too. I'd love to compete next to you. But yeah, he's also a performance mindset coach. And in this clip, you're going to see him talk about how mindset can impact the results you get from your fitness. So whether you are an elite athlete or just someone trying to lose weight, he goes over how your mindset will impact what you get out of your training, so to speak. So without any further ado, here's the clip from that interview. So I want to get kind of your opinion on is how much would you attribute success, whether it be as an athlete, like a professional athlete, or just someone trying to hit like their fitness goals? How much do you attribute mindset to like the success they'll see, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
Because
Man, I don't know. Go ahead.
just one time I was listening to an episode of the Chasing Excellence podcast by
Yeah.
Ben Bergeron,
Yeah.
and he was mentioning how the mindset of an athlete can really dictate the success they'll see like out of their training.
Absolutely. There is, 100% there is a correlation and there is a value
Mm.
and there is some percentage of how much better you can be or how much worse you can be based off your mindset. Absolutely. It comes back down to how you see the world, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just having a casual conversation with anyone, if you have people that went through 2020 and they think it was the
Mm-hmm.
and could be very valid, right? Could be
Mm-hmm.
very valid. It was the worst year of their life.
Yeah.
But then you also have people like, man, I had a great year. I live in Little Cedar City. There's 30,000 people. We have been minimally affected by, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I have been blessed to pretty much live my same standard of living other than wearing a mask at the grocery store. So that being said, I feel like 2020 was a really positive year for me in a variety of ways. And a lot of that has to do with overcoming negative things, stress, anxiety, unknowns, because there were still unknowns. I had to work from home from X amount of time. I was at risk of losing potentially my job. There were things that didn't pan out the way I wanted them to pan out. There's a variety of things that changed. I had to change how I was working with my clients because I couldn't go in person. But there's also other people that I've talked to that live here in my same community. They, I don't know, make as much money as I do. They, in my assumption, have the same opportunity for success and happiness. 2020 was the very worst year for them. And a lot of that might have to do because of the election.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So just in having a mere conversation, like someone has chosen to focus on the election, has chosen to focus on all the turmoil that's going on in the world. And they have a very like negative doomsday attitude when they interact with you. But someone is focusing on all the different things that are going on that are good and changes that are trying to happen or how they can make change happen. And so, so I think that mindset overall like has a big impact. I think Ben Bergeron is the one that tells the story about Katrin. I don't know if she PR'd, but basically one time at the games, like she only got like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And then, he helped her change her mindset or they had always been working on their mindset where instead of showing up and being like, I only got this much sleep, Like she was able to show up and say, I got this much sleep. You know, I did this. These are all the things that I did do and that I did control and that I did take care of. Now it's time for me to go out and, you know, compete and have fun. And so, and she did pretty well from what I remember of the story. And so I think that there's a balance of, you know, we know lots of sleep is beneficial. We know hydrating is beneficial. We know eating healthy is beneficial. But if those things go wrong or don't go according to plan, can you sit there and say, and turn that or change that to, in that moment, these are the things I have done. You know, yesterday I didn't sleep very well, but I have eaten well for 6 months before that, or whatever it might be. I didn't sleep very well last night, but I've been sleeping well. Like, if you can just change that mindset, you are going to be better off than if you just sit there and focus on, you know, the negative of what just happened. I had a horrible workout today. Absolutely horrible. It was not a, you know, one I want to even go on. I don't want to go on. I could easily go on Instagram and say, I had a bad workout today, but I learned all these things and da da da. And here's why it was a positive. No, I had a bad workout, but am I going to go into the next workout saying I'm less fit, or like, oh, I had a horrible workout, so I'm out? Or am I going to say, no, like, I've had a really bad workout yesterday, but over the last 6 months, like, in general, I've had great training opportunities. So back in the gym for another day, and this can be a good day for me.